Alright, hello and welcome to just a little draft breakdown of my WWDL Season 2 draft. And this is the little bit of a breakdown of my team from what I first picked to my final pick. Pretty solid team I think I get. Gyarados is one of my two Terra captains, arguably one of the best in the league. Flying, Ground, and Fire is my Terra types, and on Noivern we got Dragon, Steel, and Normal. And here I'll go through pick by pick. Kingambit, I had the 9th overall pick out of 12, so not particularly good, just a little off of one of the worst picks. But, got Kingambit, fell to 9th thankfully. Very, very good, obviously. I don't think I have to explain why Kingambit is good, it's just really insane. Even in draft, where it's a little more predictable, a little easier to build around, but there's no hidden power, so stuff can't slap hidden power fighting on it. But at the same time, I can't terrestrialize it, because there's a cap on Terra, where only mons 9 points or lower can use it, so prevents Kingambit from being a little absurd. But what it does get in draft, since it's a Nat Dex draft, it gets knockoff, and it gets pursuit, which, I mean, come on, Kingambit with knockoff. It's just incredible. It always should have had knockoff, in my opinion, but I see why they took it away from the line, but it's got it back now. Kingambit, while being really slow, provides such an oppressive presence. Like, people are always going to be scrambling to build around it. I think it's a really tough mon to counter, even if you know it's coming, if you don't have a really bulky fighting type. Like, if you don't have something like a Great Tusk, or a good Intimidator. Of course, I say as I took 2 Intimidators. Or something like a bulky Fire. Just something that can at least, like, prevent Sucker Punch, like maybe a priority stopper of some sort. Like, I don't really know. I'm thinking of, like, Serena, Queenly Majesty, but yeah, Kingambit, very hard to stop from cooking. Especially with that. Just look at those stats. Really, being able to hit 341, 276, 206 with 0 defensive investment whatsoever is kind of insane. And then with 135 base attack, which if I don't invest in attack, still got 306. Like, come on. That's like a base 90 at max attack adamant, I'm pretty sure. Like, just, like, almost exactly. Like, I think it's just lower than a base 90 with adamant full attack. It's just like, damn. Zapdos, very good partner with Kingambit in my opinion, covers the fighting weakness, the ground weakness. Doesn't cover the fire weakness, but Gyarados will take care of that, while Kingambit covers Zapdos' rock and ice weaknesses. I just really like Zapdos, especially in Nat Dex. It gets Defog back, where it lost it in Gen 9. I've got dual screens as an option as well. U-turn or Volt Switch. And just, Zapdos is just a really good Pokemon. Good speed, good special attack, decent bulk without even needing to invest. Good ability, being able to static and punish U-turn or really any physical move whatsoever is really fantastic. I wish I could Terra this, but 9-point rule. Can't use Baton Pass as you may have expected, but also having Heat Wave for coverage, fantastic. As I mentioned, no hidden power, but really Zapdos doesn't need it too much in my opinion. I think the moves it gets are really good, even though it seems like a limited move pool at a first glance, but it's pretty good. And I get Toxic back, so, you know, it's kind of the GOAT. Speaking of the GOAT, we've got Gyarados with 2 of the best abilities in the game, Intimidate and Moxie. I cannot use the Mega Stone, though I don't really want to anyways, because I want to use my Terras. Fire, obviously, just gives good coverage with Terra Blast Fire. Or could give me better power on my special fire moves if I really wanted to. Ground to be immune to my 4x weakness. Would also boost my Earthquakes, which would be really nice. And Flying to actually give me real flying stab that didn't bounce. Like, this thing having to rely on bounce is so sad. But now with Terra Blast Flying, it's 80 power, 100 accuracy, a Flying Stab that's double boosted by Terra, I believe, because it's one of my stabs. So it moves from a 1.5x boost to a 2x boost, which is fantastic. Gyarados' move pool is incredible. Thank you, Gen 1. Yep, this should get Reflect. Yep, I don't know why. And yeah, this should totally get Power Whip. Like, oh, this thing's move pool is just so perfect. Get Dragon Dance. Yeah, this thing can run offensive or defensive, obviously, with its 2 abilities. But yeah, being able to just run whatever I want on this is going to be fantastic. And with heavy-duty boots, with Gen 9, or 8, no, sorry. Yeah, being able to have boots on this thing, and then being able to tear it, it's going to be fantastic. The stats are really good too. The speed is a little lacking, but with Dragon Dance that doesn't matter. Good natural bulk, kind of low defense, but Intimidate completely negates that. 95 base HP, so with no investment, I'm still really fat. Same thing with special defense, I can easily tank a neutral special hit without really any worry. Yeah, Gyarados, I think this thing's going to put in a lot of work over the course of a full season. Mega Gallade. You might think, should this have been first? Like your first round pickup? Nope, this fell all the way to the 4th round, and really I needed something to help fill the gaps in my team. I thought Mega Gallade would do it fantastically. A good psychic fighting type. Really, the type isn't what's special about it, it is definitely these monstrous stats right here. 165 attack, 115 speed F, 110 speed. Like, this thing is really specially bulky with basically no investment, incredibly strong. The move pool, once again. Yeah, I'm picking up some mons with really nasty move pools. You have to build against so many different possible sets I could run. Like, why does this get Will-O-Wisp? That doesn't even make any sense. What about Gallade can, like, send out a little wisp of fire and burn something? Yeah, I didn't even notice that until now. This makes 0 sense. Oh yeah, it can also paralyze you. Or toxic you. I mean, that's not special, but still. I can teleport out. If you really want it to, it can taunt you, yeah, why not? An SD set. It can Memento because fuck you, I guess. You know what, I could run dual screens on it. It gets knockoff, which is just a massive bonus. The only thing it's lacking is a really, really good stab psychic move, but in Zen Headbutt or Psycho Cut, they both get the job done. If only this thing had sharpness, like its Prevo. Because yeah, we'll be inner focus after Mega Evolving. And I'm rather sure that keeping it in small Gallade, like in normal Gallade form, doesn't make sharpness more powerful than, like, I think a 45-point boost in attack, maybe 55. How much is Gallade? So yeah, a 40-point boost. I'm pretty sure the 40-point attack boost is better than the, like, 35-point power boost in a move, but I'm sure enough about that to not go and calc it. Yeah, that's it for Mega Gallade. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you know what it does. It's just really strong, really hard to build against, and that's 2 of my favorite traits for a Pokemon to have. Skeledirge. I started to focus on my defensive core in the mid-rounds, and I think Skeledirge is a great fit. Unaware. Always nice to have a Pokemon with Unaware, really gives the middle finger to set up sweepers, which there's a lot of good ones. Luckily I took a couple of the good ones, but always going to need something to block them. Heavy-duty boots are fantastic on Dirge, leftovers are good. Could also run like a resist berry if I want to get a little cheesy, perhaps. I could run specs on it and really just surprise somebody with its strength. Skeledirge, base 110, not bad. And then pretty bulky, 104 HP, 100 defense, 75 speed F. Again, kind of slow. Speed is definitely not my team's strong suit. I've only got 2 Pokemon over base 100, which isn't like a problem. You know, you like having fast Pokemon like Noivern and Mega Gallade, but overall, it's not the the be-all end-all. It gets a whirring voice, which I think is kind of cool. Don't know when I'll get to use it a lot, but you know, if I'm lucky. It gets Earth Power. Forgot about that. I won't really need to use that too much though. Except I guess against rock types. Scorching Sands is also good. Could be better than Earth Power in some matchups. Torch Song, of course, it's a signature move. Just a fantastic move. Really good for it. It gets easy recovery with Slack Off, although it got nerfed to 8 PP in this gen. Which I'm fine with. I don't think that's a problem. Shadow Ball for consistent Ghost Stab, with the chance to just farm my opponent with the Spadef drop. Although it doesn't matter if I'm running unaware, to be fair. It does not take into account my opponent's stat drops as well as their stat raises. Encore is really cool, because it's slow, but it's not so comically slow where I'll never outspeed anything. Kind of like my next Mon. So if I can outspeed a faster defensive Pokemon, I could easily win a 1v1 with Encore. So just something for my opponents to remember. I've gotta give them some tips. Yeah, that's about it for Skeledirge. Yawn. Yawn's also pretty good. Definitely a move that I could, you know, really put to good use in a certain matchup or two. Moongus, get a Regenerator Mon, always good to have. I had a Moongus last season. It didn't do fantastic work because it was really outshined by my Taro Bochian, but I think it'll have a much bigger role this season, being my main grass type. Moongus, very good HP, mediocre in every other stat, but this fat HP and regen just really provides the longevity that you need. Move pool has a lot to be desired, but it has one incredible move, arguably the best status move in the game, just has bad distribution. Spore. I love Spore. Love 100% accurate sleep move. And then it has good stabs, like it has Leaf Storm, Giga Drain, and Sludge Bomb. So really all you could ask for in terms of stab moves, but it's not very strong, so it won't deal a lot of damage, but the bulk is there. The typing is solid for a defensive Pokemon. Can also have instant recovery with Synthesis, although certain matchups will make that better or worse. And then also I have the option for Stun Spore in case I could run double status, you know, if I really wanted to, 1 week. But it gives me options, and then also Foul Play. Good for certain matchups in Clear Smog. Again, good for certain matchups. So, you know, Moongus isn't going to surprise you too many weeks, but it's always good just to have the option. And of course, 100% accurate Toxic, because poison types cannot miss. Donphan. Wanted a spinner, wanted a ground type, wanted something that was kind of fat, but Donphan. Was very happy when this dropped to me. Nothing too incredible on the stat side. Very physically bulky and naturally strong, which is always good. Slow again, which is, you know, pointing to my speed problem. And Spadef, really, you'll really see this hurt if I'm not invested in it. But the ability is great. I love the Sturdy ability. I could run Heavy Duty Boots Sturdy to have really easy hazard removal, Rapid Spin. This gets Encore too? Did they give more shit Encore? That's weird. I don't understand what about Donphan can Encore something. Like, I thought you need, like, hands. Skeledirge doesn't really have hands either. But, you know, whatever. Maybe he just, like, stomps on the ground or something. Yeah, the move pool is solid. Counter is cool. It's one of my favorite, like, non-damaging moves, I guess, even though it returns double damage. Earthquake is fantastic stab, one of the best, no downside moves in the game. It gets priority as well with Ice Shard, which is nice, you know, coming off a base 120 attack. Just to deliver that last little punch in case stuff like Delayed Mega and Gyarados and King Gambit have already put massive holes in the team. Something like Donphan can come in late game, tank a hit, and just EQ Ice Shard and win. Knockoff, another mon with Knockoff, always excellent to have. Can set up rocks on its own, which is another one of my problems. Hazard setting. I have next to nothing on hazard setters. I think just Gambit and Donphan. can set rocks, and I don't have anything else. I've got a Mungus at least to absorb T-spikes, but other than that, my hazard game is not excellent. But it wasn't last season, and that obviously was not a problem. Like, my best hazard setter I think last season was Orthworm, and that put in a surprising amount of work. Gotta give a shout out to Orthworm, with no Terra and no Shed Tail. I think put in fat work. Stone Edge, in case I want a stronger flying type hitter. Superpower because sometimes a normal type is pretty good. Toxic and Trailblaze, just interesting moves, just to have. Like, the move pool is wide enough to make it a little difficult to prep for Donphan, and having body press means I can just max out defense one week, and maybe max defense, max special defense, or max defense, max HP AV, and just run something like EQ, body press, ice shard, and rapid spin perhaps. And items, it's usually going to be Rocky Helmet, leftovers, AV, that type of thing. Although perhaps Choice Band could work one week, or maybe an Expert Belt, just to really throw people off. Like, I don't want to make it too predictable, but, you know, I like talking about the Pokemon. Noivern, my other Terra Captain. Very, very happy with the 2 Terra Captains I was able to get, because I think 2 of the strongest ones. Noivern is one of the fastest ones. Like, fastest but still good, like Electrode. Electrode Hisui's good, though. I'm not sleeping on that boy. But, like, do I really want base Electrode just for the speed? No, I want something like Noivern. Because the speed's really good, 123. The bulk, you know, not really there, but I mean, does it look bulky at all? And you may think it's lacking a little in special attack, which it is, but the terrestrialization really, like, helps it beat out that, because with Dragon, you know, I wanted one of my stabs, and I thought Dragon was the better one, for extra power on Draco Meteor. Steel, because I'm weak to Fairy, and Ice, and Rock, so Steel covers that pretty well. And Normal, because you may know, this thing gets Boom Burst. Terra Normal Boom Burst is going to hurt. Like, this is such an absurd move. 140 base power, 100% accuracy, 16 PB, no drawback. And it's a multi-target move. Like, this move is just being held back by bad distribution. It's been shown that, like, in almost any ability and, like, stab mons, that this move is incredible. But they gave it to mostly bad Pokemon. Yeah, Frisk is incredible in Draft. So is Infiltrator. Telepathy obviously useless in singles, but yeah, Frisk, being able to scout the other Pokemon can just entirely tell me they're set. Like, you can make a really difficult matchup kind of a breeze. Because if I know a Pokemon is either like Specs or Scarf, or if I can find out early that it's Boots, like, if I find out something's Boots, I won't waste time setting up rocks on it. If I find out something's Specs, I can be like, oh shit, I can't live an attack, but I can outspeed. So I can pick if I want to use my Terra on it or not. I think it's going to be a great Pokemon for me. I really like it. The move pool's great too. I can defog if I want to. It gets fire moves to cover steel types. It gets Moonlight because why not? It gets psychic moves. It gets Switcheroo, which is one of my favorite moves in the game. It gets U-turn for pivot. Taunt, Tailwind for support. X-Scissor. I'll never use X-Scissor. Whirlwind is funny, but I'll never use that because I don't stack hazards. Oh, it gets a Roost, okay. I thought it did. But yeah, I mean, just really good moves on Focus Blast too, if I want to ever be a little risky against those steel types that give me a problem. Now getting on to the last two, mostly just for depth pickups and like just covering a little holes in my team. Like, I wanted a fairy type, so hey, Bramble's pretty good. It has a bit of overlap in terms of like how the Pokemon is built with the Donphan, unfortunately. Like, the stats are rather similar when you look at them. But it gets Intimidate. I wish it had a bit more special defense, although then it would look a bit more like Gyarados in terms of stats. But yeah. Actually, what I really wish it had was speed. Yeah, very slow, but always nice to have a fairy type, and it has a good support move pool as well. Yeah, like stuff like Thunder Wave and Toxic, Taunt, you know, Roar in case anything tries to get a little frisky. And yeah, I just wanted a fairy type, and this was the best one I could find. And having the option to do stuff like Bulk Up and EQ as well. Hell, when it gets Encore too, why not? This one makes a little more sense though. Finally, Typhlosion. Mostly just picked up because I like Typhlosion, but also because, you know, Specs Eruption, that can do some damage. You know, why not? Good cleaner, maybe as a Starfer. Just something my opponent has to prep something for. Just gotta make them think once in a while. Can't let them rest on their laurels too much. Yeah, Typhlosion, not that great overall, but it's got a special place in my heart, so I had to pick it up. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the team. I will be battling A1 pretty soon, so I mean that's a can't miss matchup. But definitely tune in to check out how that battle went. Yeah, stay thick and safe, everybody, and I'll see you next time.